So in this video, what we're going to do is look at the main entry point for the program, and that is the program file called merX.go. And the only thing that happens inside of this file is it's basically setting up our database connection. It's looking for our config file. So if you don't want to put your config file in the etc merX folder, then you can rename it and put it in whatever folder you want and recompile. I'm going to show you how to compile this in a moment. So this sets up our config file, this sets up our log file, and then down here we've got our network connections that it's reading out of the configuration file that we've copied. So it goes out and gets all of its configuration file information, and then down here toward the bottom it starts to set up its database connection and starting the server. So this is where it goes out, sets up the merX server, listening on the port. It echoes that information back out to the prompt just for informational purposes, looks to see if it has an SSL encryption key, and then here it tells you it's listening on the admin port, and then here is where it's actually doing everything. And so this says to listen and serve on the admin and on the main listener, and then it gives you information if it has any kind of an error. If you look up here, the system is setting up to listen on the port, and then it also calls, here you can see this is the main one we're going to focus on. We'll forget the admin for the moment. It is calling public interface, and so this basically just says if we get a connection on the port, whatever port you told the system to listen on, if we get a connection on that port, then we're going to go out and we're going to take the connection along with all of the JSON object and everything else, and we're going to call this public interface. And so the next video is going to cover the public interface and what it's doing, but the main merX.go file, you're probably never going to have to change this, and if you do, it'll be to relocate a log file or the comp file, and everything else is pretty standard. There's not a whole lot of magic going on here. And again, the next one we'll cover is the public interface to see what it's doing.